Excellent. Good afternoon. Today is the second session, July. Thank you very much for the previous session. It was really scintillating, very informative, amazing recording.
Thank you.
Really great to learn about all your achievements, but not just achievements, but also how you are thinking, what the world means to you, what the family means to you, and so on and so forth. It has been simply very interesting doing this.
Oh, thank you very much for the compliments.
So, inniki we will take up the topic of people who have 5 different people who have had an enormous influence on you, positive influence, and people who you admire, maybe. It doesn't matter specifically, it is all about people who played a key role in the growth that you have had in your life. So that is the general topic. அது பரவாயில்லைனாக்கா we can get started.
Good. It is a good topic to touch upon. Thanks for all your compliments and encouragement. And your questions are more motivating. That is how I am also coming out openly a little bit. And I might have met a lot of people who may be on top of the world or top positions because of my career, but I don't know whether they would have influenced me. For example, I would have met a topmost, senior-most chief minister of a state and even worked with the chief minister for quite some time, but maybe there was no influence because of that position or person of that time. So what I am going to touch is people who really touched my heart and who have given me something in life to think upon, ponder upon, to see whether I can follow that footsteps. So suppose if it is 100 marks one has to get, I might have got at least 10 or 15 marks at least, I am happy. So that is the way I am going to touch people. Number 1, last time also touched this topic. My mother had influenced quite a bit in my early life. So once again I have to touch upon that topic. The reason is you should not fly. You should be always on the ground. You should be realistic. And you should not, just because you have given me $100, I should not think I am the richest guy in the world. So I should know my past, position and responsibilities and act upon. So my mother has taught me when I was very young. And then the reason it impressed me, many people would have told me about it, similar things, but why I picked up my mother was, she was a millionaire's daughter, but she was married to a government officer. So from 100 step, she has come down to second step or first step. But I have never seen a lady who can be so accommodative, so kind, so happy, and I have never seen her quarreling with anybody. It could be friends, it could be neighbors, and even if they try to poke something, I have seen her very calm, quiet, and not replying those kind of questions. This, as a very young boy, it has gone into my mind. That is why I always feel we should be living on this earth. We should not fly in the air. This is what I learned from her. And second thing I learned from her was God-fearing. So you may think nobody is seeing you and all that, but always imagine that there is a super almighty, a super power which is guarding you. So I always feel that we should be careful in everything. Of course, we are all human beings, we can do hundreds of mistakes day in, day out. but it should not become a habit. So this I have learned from her. Then following that, because my mother passed away when I was when I started my career and all that, then afterwards, when I met my daughter Geeta, when she started growing in our home, and then after marriage, and even today, I find her to follow, she follows some of those things which my mother used to stand for. That is why, even though I am, I normally avoid talking about very closest persons to me who are in front of me, but still I thought I should mention it because it has gone into my mind. So she is probably resembles my mother in her outlook, because she can move very closely with all the relatives, with a friend, with a child, with a person who has done a mistake, and things like that. So that has struck me, and so still I remember my mother through my daughter Geeta.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is a very touching,
Yeah.
very moving remembrance of your mother. And it appears that she passed away a little too early. I don't think I had an opportunity to
Yeah.
see her, meet her in any way. Perhaps your
Geeta
daughter,
has seen her.
maybe
Geeta
your
has
daughter
seen her.
has. Maybe your daughter has very fond remembrances of your mother.
Yeah.
It is really wonderful of you to attribute lot of your success to the inspiration that you got from your mother. Amazing, excellent. So, how can you top that?
Yeah.
Very difficult to top
I
that.
cannot, very difficult.
So, who is the next person?
The next person is probably I learned how to give. If you give me 10 rupees, I would like to give back at least 2-3 rupees to somebody. This quality has gone into my mind and it is in my blood. And I looked back how I got this quality. Then I remembered Dr. Alagappa Chettiar, who was the founder of my Alappa College institutions, where I had total 7 years of education, both my graduation and chemical engineering graduation. Both the degrees I got from Bala Chettiar College of institutions. So I had known him because of my brother-in-law, who built a research institute for him at Karaikudi. So I happened to study from Karaikudi, and because of this influence, we used to play a lot of ball badminton and all that with all the top senior most people, and Dr. Chettiar used to come and say hello to all of us. That is how I know him. And also he has given me a drop to the college once or twice in his Plymouth, large Plymouth imported car. So those days he remembered me, but I remember him always, because he didn't have much money. Whatever he had, all the property, he gave it away to the institutions. And he borrowed left and right by pledging whatever he had, and then he brought all the institutions. Name the college, it is there. Name the research institute, it is there. And what I was surprised about him is his friendship. Right from President of India, Prime Minister Nehru, even he built a special bungalow for Prime Minister Nehru so that he can come and stay many times, which he did. And Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Vice President, and imagine the dignitaries and illuminaries that they would have visited the college to give lectures. Maybe they give a lecture of 1 or 2 hours to a packed audience of students. And it was very inspiring. And then everybody, the way in which they treated Dr. Chettiar, forget about praising. Anybody can praise anybody else. The way in which they treated for his humility and for his giving tendency, that has gone into my mind, because I have heard from topmost people of the country and I have seen it for myself. So his philosophy was while traveling in the car one day, he said, buddy, he also used to call me buddy. Money, if you have 1 rupee, try to keep 20 naya paisa, for notes is not naya paisa, I think anas or something, I forgotten. Give away 20%, let me put it modern way, 20% to somebody. So that has gone into my mind like anything. So maybe Dr. Halappa Chettiar, because of his education, because of his philanthropic nature, because what he did for the society and what he did for my education, I wanted to record his, showing of the way of life. So
That explains a lot. It's surprising that this came from Alagappa Chettiar.
yeah,
Clearly, from what you are saying, he gave away money, but he gave it to all well-known people. He did it for well-known causes.
yeah,
But from what you have learned, you have applied it in a much different way.
yeah,
I know you have given so much money to all your drivers, all your house employees. Right now, Sridhar and what's his name, Bhavani.
yeah.
You are paying them so much, way more than what you would pay an employee. Obviously, this all comes from very, very generous outlook that you have learned from everybody. This is just amazing. Now I understand why you have been super generous, more than to a fault.
No, I
with all
told
your
you, it is in my
drivers.
blood, I cannot come out of that, Many people tell me, why do you pay so much salary to the watchman? Because my watchman also may ask. Something like that, people talk to me, but I can't think about it, to be very honest. It is in my blood.
Indeed. It's a really admirable trait. We should all learn from that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we have, but we have to continue to remember and we will learn from that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, to some extent, you didn't give everything.
Yes.
You should not give it to people who don't need. We should give it to people who are subordinate to us, who are not capable of getting that benefit of life.
Great lesson. Thank you so much for that. Let us move on.
So, the next person I want to record, even though I took some time to decide whether this is the person, then I decided, yes, this is Dr. Professor Ladda, my director of SC College of Technology. Without him, I would not have seen any success in the career and in the industry, because my bottom line is success in the industry. Whether I got back what I deserve, that is a different matter. But whatever I have touched, you can see it in operation. That is the kind of name I have in the industry, and for that, the root cause and the foundation was Dr. Ladda's explaining to me what I should do, how I should do, how I should be in the industry, and it shaped my career. And my career is my success, because I am not a big MS or MBA or PhD degree holder. Still, I have seen success, and I have employed all these kind of people, including a lot of Americans and foreigners. I got all these things because I followed very basic principles of dedication to the work and how I should approach and how I should do a project, and all these career details Dr. Ladda taught me. And he gave me a design paper for my dissertation, which got me the first job straight away. So, which I told you last time. Therefore, I cannot forget Dr. Ladda in my life, because my career foundation was Dr. Ladda.
Wow. Professor Ladda, the name is definitely familiar to any.
Yes, he has written many books, and he used to be a visiting lecturer in Purdue University. And his close associate was Dr. Holscher, who also taught me quite a few things. He is from Johns Hopkins University. So Dr. Ladda, in fact, it is not only me. He probably shaped up many people. And even my friend Gadapati used to daily talk about Dr. Ladda to me. So therefore, I would like to record my sincere appreciation of what he taught me on this moment.
Exactly. So this is great. Like I was saying, any engineer from Chennai, they've all heard about Professor Ladda.
No, in the engineering side, chemical engineering side, many people know about him. In the sense, he is probably considered as number one illuminary for extractive distillation as subject. And he has written many, many articles. He has gone around the world to give lectures. So he is known in his field. Maybe a common man may not know him because, a professor, he was confined to his college and educational institution. He was going around giving lectures. But most of the American universities, chemical engineering departments knew him because the way in which he was getting offers, letters, and all that, we as students were aware of it. So,
Excellent, excellent. So clearly, he has had a remarkable impact on your life, and nice of you to share your thoughts about Professor Ladda going forward.
yeah, the another person which I tell many times to many people, I had a shock of my life once when I went for a lunch at Balsar, the Gujarat industrial town of Atuls. So before that, I was living in Pantheon apartment, working at Tutco, and one fine morning, we were supposed to go to Kadalur to select a site for one project, Varnaville Dyes and Chemicals. It is a dye stuff project of Atuls of Gujarat. So I didn't know that Kasturbai Lalbai is going to come. He is a dawn of the industry, Dion of the industry those days, and he was like a god for textile industry. And he comes to Pantheon apartment, knock the door, wants to take me to select the site. I could believe myself. I mean, I have to think 100 times whether it is real or not. So I went with him, and we traveled to Kadalur. He talked many things, and then he didn't talk about the project or anything. He didn't talk. He was talking so many general things, and he was more worried about the poor people of the country, it looked to me. And then when we went to Kadalur, he did take more than 3 hours to select a site for a large project of his. And he selected along with his daughter-in-law Vimala Bell, I remember. And then he invited me to Balsar. He told my chairman, he said, Bala to Balsar. We will write all the contracts and details. That is where you will meet Dr. Patel and all my colleagues. I am not the person to decide. So they have to decide everything, nitty-gritties. So said him. So I went along with my company secretary, Tangaraj, a backward classman, risen up to such a top position in Titco. And we went to Balsar, traveled for about 5 hours by car, in an ambassador car which he sent to Balsar. Then we talked about so many things, and others left, and we sat for lunch on the ground, or a small, small seat, okay? Maybe, I don't remember, it's a small seat on the ground. And they put copper plates, big ones. That lady put small, katoris, and then she started serving. And then we all ate that lunch, very simple lunch, Gujarati thali, we ate and went and sat in a huge sofa set at the big hall. And we were all sitting, and his son, his son, Siddharth Bhai came, and we all had a chat and all that. We talked about how to put up the factory and all that. That lady who served us also came and sat with us. I said, what is this happening? Then I found out she's a double FRCS and she's a daughter-in-law of Kasturbai Lalbai. Then I understood what kind of simplicity they are following. Right from the father-in-law to the daughter-in-law to the son. And I met Dr. Patel, a number one person on Vaishnav. He never showed off. I have never seen such a family and such a gathering and such a good togetherness in my life. That showed me what is simplicity. Because probably those days, even Jawaharlal Nehru, I heard, will not sit in front of Kasturbai Lalbhai. And such a person knocks at the door, takes you to a place to select a site, and then his daughter-in-law is outbids him on simplicity. It has gone into my mind.
Wow, the kind of people you know, it is just totally amazing. This aspect is something that I never could have imagined.
Yeah, you are right, because I purposely took some unusual things which I wanted to bring it here. Usual things we can talk about the current Prime Minister for hours together. That is not interesting. But we should always recognize something which is unknown, which others would not have seen. That is why I took that name.
Fantastic, fantastic. Going forward,
And last one, I don't have very lecture to give, but whenever you have seen me writing a report, writing a letter, even writing a grocery list, I always carefully write it. I write it 1, 2, 3, 4, and I imagine the store and write how you proceed inside the store along. On that fashion, I write the names of groceries. I don't write a vegetable and then write a rice flour and then write an ice cream like that. I won't write. And this I have started practicing for quite some time. This I was taught by company secretary of plastic resistant chemicals, Narayan Swami. He is he is only a graduate, but for everything he will start writing. Suppose he has to go for a small meeting of accounts, he will write half a page of points, and then he won't miss anything. And this is what he taught me that I should do that. From that day onwards, I have been following it, I am doing it. So, he had been my friend for many years. I think we did a project together at Titco also. And in the early age, he passed away. He used to be at Woodballpet, he passed away. But I remember what he taught me, not just once, maybe for about a week daily, he used to make me sit and talk. I am a big boss for him, but he didn't mind. So that has struck me.
wow.
So I have given something unusual things to you to ponder, because we are thinking that we should take everything only from Mahatma Gandhi. Not necessary. Even for a normal person, we can pick up something. That is what I wanted to focus in this small conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
This is amazing. You know, it is clear. One thing that is very clear to me is half an hour is not enough. You have met so many people, you have learned so many things, so many interesting things you have learned. Perhaps we should continue
But
this
problem is, because of my age, I find it difficult to remember everything. That is why I was very choosy, and I spent some. Maybe I could have picked up something better also.
If I may say so, people half your age may not remember so much.
Yeah.
For your age is not a
It is not a question
restriction
of
at all, clearly.
It is a question of some of the principles that have gone into the mind. That is why you remember the incident, you remember the people.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. This is excellent. Thank you so much.
So,
Look forward to the next
yes, I have to
episode.
thank you for kindling me my interest to talk all these things. Otherwise, I would not have had never an opportunity to touch some of these topics. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.